Have a lot of time, and I've got some more Handlebar Cam footage for you. Going from the troops, I want to go to the police officers, both in Houston, Texas, and here in Canada. First of all, I need to apologize to the 3 patrol cars and their police officers that came and visited me in the parking lot while I was resting near McDonald's in Ajax, Ontario. The McDonald's manager had called the police about this strange man on his motorcycle out in the parking lot, and these 3 cop cars come rolling into the parking lot. When I was on the radio show at Live 88.5, I did them a disservice by saying I was accosted by police officers. I was absolutely not accosted. They were quite polite. In fact, every police officer I've ever met in Canada is extremely polite. He simply pulled up and he said, "Are you taking a break?" I told him, "Yes, sir, I am." I explained to him that I was doing this ride for charity, and I did highlight the fact that I was riding for the 100 Club. They had actually heard of the 100 Club way up here, and I think Rick Harley would be really happy to hear that. So I want to honor them for their service, and I also want to connect with a survivors fund for the police up here in Canada, in particular in Ottawa, if I can. So again, gentlemen, my apologies for if I did you a dishonor by using the word accosted on the radio show. That is not at all what I meant, not at all what transpired. When I told them the story, they all shook my hand and thanked me for providing this service to the police officers, and I thank them as well. I'm going to move on to the Ottawa mission. I want to recognize Norman Ikumiak. Norman is a 61-year-old Inuit Indian artist at the Ottawa mission who granted me an interview, and as I understand it, he doesn't grant interviews to the media in general. I'm not with the media, but he generally doesn't grant interviews, and he did grant me one to tell me his story to support his brothers and sisters who were in the Ottawa mission. You know, Norman had a very interesting story, and I'll be publishing that as a separate video. But let's safe to say that Norman had a book which is out on Amazon called Arctic Memories. I believe another one called Arctic Childhood. An incredible artist. He suffered quite a bit of misfortune, is now crippled, he's homeless. He is apparently not benefited from the sale of his art, and I'll tell you more about that story later. I want a special shout out to Bree and Cheryl Lawrenson and their friend, the creative guy, David Hellam, the one who gifted me with this pen, and Andrew Moffat for inviting me to their CD pre-release planning party. A birthday party for Cheryl Lawrence, and happy birthday. That was really interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing that CD come out and witnessing her support for the troops. So I'm going to go real quick through a couple of gifts I've received. I mentioned this one before. I don't know if I've had an opportunity to show y'all. Marcus Milwee at the RV camp in Arkansas gave me this hand-carved bear claw. Very, very personal gift. Means a lot to me. I happen to have some connection to the bear spirit, if you will. David Marsh, who gave me this guitar branded Zippo. David, I filled it up. It works great. Thank you very much. So I've received some awesome gifts, but I got one yesterday that blew my mind. I have a new friend up here who's also a mentee of Andrew Moffat. A gentleman named Kenny gave me this genuine cowhide Harley Davidson jacket. Is this not unbelievable? Kenny, I'm without words. It's a huge honor. I know what these jackets mean to bikers. It's particularly since I don't ride a Harley currently. You know, I may have to change that. All right, you're a great guy. Thanks a lot for the amazing gift. And that was again from Kenny here in Ottawa. Let me scroll down here a little bit. Again, I apologize if I missed anybody. I'm going to run through a list of some folks that I've met up with either on Facebook or joined me on Facebook, or I met them up on the road. It's truly incredible to me. I passed out a stack of business cards this thick since I left Houston, Texas, and I have met incredible people all over the country. Without exception, everybody has been extremely supportive. A lot of them are starting to show up in Facebook now, and as I ask them, they're leaving me comments to remind me where I met them, because I've literally met so many people. So I'm going to run through a few of them. Jan at the Country Sampler in Oakwood, Ontario on Route 7. She won't see this because she doesn't use a computer, she told me. But I wanted to thank her, mention her store, the Country Sampler on Route 7 in Oakwood, Ontario. She allowed me to charge my phone at her establishment while I went off to eat lunch. She's got a wonderful, wonderful antique shop, beautiful surroundings, neat lady. Christine, who was also at the CD planning meeting for this very cool phone cover for my new Curve phone to protect it after hearing that my other one took a dive on the freeway. It's got a Canadian roots symbol, so pretty much I'm going to be decked out in maple leaves by the time I go home. Dawn Brazeau from the Scotiabank in Ottawa. I met there while I was exchanging money. She dropped into Facebook. Thank you very much. Megan from the Walmart in Whitby, Ontario. Great to meet you, and thanks for joining the Facebook group. Tell all your friends, and thanks for being willing to support. Curtis Webster heard me on the radio, Live 88.5, stepped up and donated $25, joined the Facebook group. Curtis, you are a great example. Thank you. Alan Hollander. I've talked about Alan before. You'll see one of his videos on Zentrepreneurism up on my YouTube site. I highly encourage you to go watch that video. Alan has started an incredible movement on getting back to the triple bottom line of economic responsibility, social responsibility, and environmental responsibility. He's carrying this message, and I owe Alan a debt of gratitude for connecting me to many of the people that are part of this venture today. I was drawing a connections map up on the whiteboard today, and I realized Alan was a key connection. Alan is working also with Charlene McGuire, who's taking over the ZenBiz Buzz newsletter that I was helping him with for the last few months. Charlene immediately connected me to Fender Music. Charlene, you rock. Thank you very much. All the media sponsors, I'm not going to mention you all right now. We'll do another session on the media sponsors. But in particular, I want to point out Live 88.5 Startup Morning Show. David Schellenberg and John Moran, who was standing in for Catfish the morning that they had me in the radio station. Guys, what an incredible opportunity to get the word out. I literally, as I walked out the door from the station, I had new followers on Twitter, new followers on Facebook. You guys rock. Your show is amazing. You cover technology. You cover this new movement to add social consciousness to your business. I think you guys are doing great work. Everybody I've talked to is very excited about that. So you obviously have a large following here in town. So I'll be posting the MP3 for Live 88.5 as soon as I can get it to be properly accepted by the codec in the Movie Maker. Outlaw Dave in Houston, Texas on KPRC Radio Mojo 950 in Houston. He had me on his show. Very interesting show. We were drinking margaritas. We had the new Miss Vitos there. An interesting venue for trying to communicate serious fundraising, but Outlaw Dave is absolutely a serious fundraiser. He supports the 100 Club every year with a ride to the Stevens and Pruitt Ranch. So Outlaw Dave, thanks for leaving the link up on your personal website at Outlaw Nation. I encourage everybody to go look up Outlaw Dave. He's a great supporter of bikers in particular and the police force in Houston, Texas. Tracy Tong at the Metro newspaper for interviewing me at the Ottawa Mission and putting my story in the newspaper and up on the web at metronews.ca. Support for the Ottawa Mission. Settling in here at my host house, I have to give a special thanks to Andrew Moffett and Debbie Moffett of Cachette Technologies, Cachette Productions, and Cachette Rescue. These folks have provided great friendship over the last 6 or 7 years. Andy's been a great mentor. He's one of the mentors that tells you what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. And as I jokingly put on my Facebook today, he continually hits me with a focus stick. You know, the beatings will continue until the focus improves. Andy, I'm working on it. Thank you so much for your support. You're an amazing guy. I know you wouldn't want me to tell you that in public, and you probably have some choice words for me, but anyway, there you go. So they've been putting up with me and putting me up while I'm here in Ottawa. So again, much thanks for that support. Andy's also graciously offered to add a guitar signed by Alanis Morissette to the 2 guitars that I'm putting up for the guitar auction, which we're currently discussing, which we'll do for charity as well. Likely to be paired up with Warner Music somehow. Stay tuned for all that. That's still in development. So please do not forget to donate. I'm going to run real quick through the list. It's the Star of Hope Mission in Houston, Texas, the Ottawa Mission here in Ottawa, the 100 Club Police and Firemen Survivors Benefit in